Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television. We're coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, University of Lagos, UNILAG, says the union may consider going on strike if the government does not respond to its demands after all the nationwide protests. They also wrote open letters to the federal government to request that the agreements the government had with the union be implemented. Members of ASU, UNILAG, and students protested the 9 unresolved demands of the union by the federal government. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says the $150 billion Samoa agreement entered into by the federal government is in the best interest of the country. He said the agreement did not contravene the Nigerian constitution and other laws of the land, including the law against same-sex marriage. The minister was reacting to a report which suggested that the Samoa agreement included clauses that require underdeveloped and developing nations to support lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender and queer LGBTQ rights as a condition for receiving financial and other forms of support from advanced countries. The Senate has passed for the third reading the bill seeking the establishment of the North Central Development Commission. The bill was sponsored by the senator representing Benue South Senatorial District, Abba Moro, and other senators from the North Central region. A federal high court in Abuja has declared as invalid the People's Democratic Party's primary election that produced Asue Ighodalo as a governorship candidate. The primary election conducted on February 22, 2024, was voided on the ground that 378 delegates who were supposed to vote at the primary election were unlawfully excluded by PDP. Samuel Odi has details.
Justice Inyang Edem Ikwer invalidated the primary elections while delivering judgment in a suit instituted by aggrieved delegates. The suit marked THC/ABJ/CS/165/2024 was instituted by one Honorable Kelvin Mohammed in a representative capacity. Some of his counsel spoke on the judgment of the court.
To learn that if you violate your constitution, you violate the electoral guidelines you have made, you refuse to listen to the wishes and aspirations of your members, there's a consequence. And that is what has transpired today. The court has held that because the PDP, which is the second defendant in this case, has refused to comply by its own electoral guidelines, section 50, 36 of its own constitution, and the provisions of section 82 and 84 of the Electoral Act, its ad hoc delegate congress of 4th and 5th February 2024, the court just declared it as a nullity.
Gentlemen, I must say straight away that no counsel must be allowed to mislead the nation and to mislead the audience. This honorable court did not make any order nullifying the primary and the election of Dr. Asue Ighodalo as the PDP candidate who won that primary election by 577 votes.
Former Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, declared the judgment as a triumph of rule of law over impurity.
Like I said, after the primaries, if you recall, I did insisted that what happened in Samuel Ogumiloro Stadium was lacking to a birthday party or a reception for a wedding at Samuel Ogumiloro Stadium. It was not a primaries, because you cannot imagine the Ashwebi people coming to say they are doing primaries. And you cannot disenfranchise the authentic delegate. You remember I used the word. I have used the word consistently that authentic delegates voted for me. I used the word consistently. The people that you saw at Samuel Ogumiloro Stadium, they were not delegates. They were staff of government. I said that. So as far as I'm concerned, this judgment is for democracy, this judgment for Edo people, and Edo people should know that by the grace of God, together, we will take our government back from outsiders.
Justice Ekwo held that both the provision of the Electoral Act 2022 and PDP guidelines were grossly violated in the conduct of the primary election at Samuel Ogbodiame Stadium in Benin City. Samuel Odi reporting for Global TV News.
You're watching Midday News coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When Midday News returns, federal government raises mining rates by 50%. This and other stories coming right after this break. Do stay with us.
Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news, current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on Global Television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Hello, children. Gather around, let me tell you a story. Do you know that stories have a way of captivating the minds of children, bringing fun and imagination to teach them morals? Join Sharon Ajay as she takes you to explore the thrilling and exciting world of storytelling.
I'll be sharing with you our next interesting story.
Tune in every Saturday on Global Television, time 5:30 p.m.
Is the desk on Global Television.
Nigeria. Come join Anthony Momodu on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are the Palestinians. We are the Canaan because
That this country gets it right.
It's the Dex on Global Television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
We stay and decide policies and reforms on the Dex. Tune in Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Global Television. Let's stay on the Dex.
Many thanks for staying with us. Now, if you've just joined us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the Midday News. On the foreign scene, South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol will travel to Washington next week for a North Atlantic Treaty Organization NATO summit, where he is expected to sound the alarm on Russia and North Korea's recent military operation. Yoon's Deputy National Security Advisor Kim Tae-hyo said NATO members and the so-called Indo-Pacific Four, Korea, Japan, Australia and New Zealand would confirm their shared commitment to protecting the international order in the face of the challenges seen in both the Eastern and Western hemispheres ahead of his visit to Washington. Yoon will stop off at the U.S. military's Indo-Pacific Command in Hawaii and receive a security briefing. Britain's new Labour government has pledged immediate action to grow the economy after clinching a landslide election victory to oust the Conservatives, but its task could be hampered by strained state finances following huge COVID expenditures. The centre-left Labour administration, led by Prime Minister Keir Starmer, has promised investment in key areas such as health and education, but also stresses the need to balance the books. This is after government coffers were further hit by subsidies for energy bills after Russia's invasion of Ukraine sent oil and gas prices rocketing. Polls opened today for Iran's run-of presidential election. The Interior Ministry said beating reformist candidate Masoud Pezeshkian against ultra-conservative Saeed Jalili in the race to succeed Ibrahim Raisi, who died in a May helicopter crash. The Islamic Republic's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who has the final say in all state matters, cast his ballot when the polls opened. The vote comes against the backdrop of heightened regional tensions over the war in Gaza, Iran's dispute with the West over its nuclear program, and popular discontent at the state of the country's sanctions-hit economy. In business, the federal government has presented the outcomes of its review of the Accelerated Stabilization and Advancement Plan, which seeks to inject 2 trillion naira into the economy in the next 6 months. President Bola Tinubu says his administration is determined to, in the next few months, increase crude oil production to 2 million barrels per day and generate more electricity for Nigerians. Tinubu said this when he inaugurated a 31-member Presidential Economic Coordination Council at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. Nigeria's debt to suppliers of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, has surpassed $6 billion, doubling what it was since early April as the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited struggles to cover the gap between fixed pump prices and international fuel costs. 6 industry sources told Reuters. Although this was swiftly described as false by NNPC, the Reuters report stated that the national oil company began struggling early this year when late PMS payments surpassed $3 billion. The Lagos State government and the Nigerian Senate have opened engagements to promote water transportation in the state. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu mentioned the need for the federal and state governments to be on the same page on waterways. Sanwo-Olu assured all that the state government will continue to improve and enhance its working relationship with the federal government authority, the National Inland Waterways Authority. According to him, the State Ministry of Waterfront Infrastructure was set up to put in place the right and needed infrastructure around waterways in the state, and therefore urged NIWA to be on the same page with the state government. The Nigeria Labour Congress has frowned at the recent hike in tariff payable by Band A customers from 206.80 naira per kilowatt hour to 209.5 naira per kilowatt hour. In a statement by the president of NLC, Joe Ajaro, disclosed that the hike in electricity tariff represented the height of impunity and arrogance, saying the development would put more companies out of business as well as create more difficulties for consumers. The federal government has increased the rates and charges for all activities in the mining sector. Dele Alake, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, who disclosed this while briefing newsmen on the new charges in Abuja, expressed concerns over non-remittance by some operators. Alake said that mining operators in the industry were making huge amounts of money but refused to remit them to the federal government. The Ogun State government has warned illegal miners and dredgers will face stiff sanctions as it is prepared to take legal actions against anyone who engages in the activities within the state. The Commissioner for Industry, Trade and Investment, Adebola Shofela, represented by the ministry's permanent secretary, Dr. Oluola Aikoluola, issued the warning during a miners and dredgers stakeholders meeting held in Okemosan, Abeokuta. According to a statement, Shofela's warning extended to miners and dredgers operating with expired documents, as he stated how irresponsible mining and dredging are destructive to the community and state infrastructure. In sports, the chairman, Professional Footballers Association of Nigeria Task Force, Harrison Jala, has charged the Nigeria Football Federation to account for the FIFA funds the body received from the 2014 to 2024. Jala, in a statement, said the World Football Body handed the NFF a total of 21.1 million naira in grants in 10 years, alleging that the money was misappropriated. Arsenal has reportedly chosen to abandon a move for Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen, despite Napoli reducing their asking price for the 25-year-old. The Gunners had previously been linked with a big money soup for the Nigeria international, but they have now moved on to alternatives. According to Corriere dello Sport via Football Italia, the North London club now prefers a move for Sporting Lisbon's Victor Gyökeres. France and Portugal renew their European Championship rivalry in a quarter-final showdown in which almost all the focus will be on the two captains, Kylian Mbappe and Cristiano Ronaldo. The eighth encounter in Hamburg brings together two of the most fancied nations coming into Euro 2024, but two teams who have not completely convinced so far in Germany. France has reached a sixth quarter-final in the last 7 major tournaments, despite not one of their players scoring a goal in open play. Super Falcons head coach Randy Waldrum has unveiled his final squad for the Paris 2024 Olympics women football tournament in France. The named captain Rasheedat Ajibade, goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie, defender Osinachi Ohale, forward Asisat Oshoala, and 14 others in his 18-player squad for the tournament. Also included in the list are defenders Oluwatosin Dimehi, Michelle Alozie, midfielders Deborah Abiodun, Halimatu Aide, Christy Ucheibe, and Tony Payne, and forwards Esther Okoronkwo Chiwendu, Ihezuo, and Uchenna Kanu. That's it on the Midday News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching. See you again.